LibGuide, that's an official term, LibGuide, from the Smithsonian Institution on their genealogy materials. That starts off with their subscription-based services, and a note about these, it includes things like Ancestry and Find My Past and all those guys. But those services generally offer free access. You don't get access to everything. You can search, but when it goes to finding the actual record, then you have it hit a paywall. But many of them offer free days of searching where you do get to see the results of your search. In fact, Fold 3 just recently finished 2 full weeks of access to their Civil War materials. I spend a lot of my free time in that database, believe me. So it's definitely worth checking out those. The other one I wanted to point out on that list is JSTOR. JSTOR is magazines, and they go way back, more than you will find in most of the online databases that you can get through the library from EBSCO or Gale. So these are things that you can get access to that are in the 20s, the 30s, et cetera, et cetera. Again, you can get a free account with JSTOR, which allows you to get X number of free articles for the month. It includes genealogy stuff, history stuff, local stuff, and it's an amazing resource. So maybe I'll talk about that in depth another time. Under the bibliographies, I wanted to point out Evidence Explained. So when you are writing your proof and putting your citations and all together, that's a real handy resource. And then there's just some other general things that are really neat, and I haven't played around with all of them myself because I don't have internet at home. I have to do it here. So thank you very much. And I'll be around if you have questions about this or anything else. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to the people on Zoom. Can't see me, that's okay. I got a big mouth, you can hear me. First day of our 2025 season. We have some really terrific programs lined up for the year, starting with Jamie. Just so that you all know, I am your president, Marcia Korzanowski. Back in the back at our membership table is Sue Leach. She not only is membership, she is treasurer. So that leads me to our first announcement. We need help. Right now, it's the two of us, with John Moody helping with the webmaster, and he takes care of the Olson receipts. And we have an acting president, acting vice president, and she basically lives in Oklahoma. So we need help. If anybody has an hour to 2 hours once a month, we could really use the help. So contact me after the program and we'll talk. We have a date change coming up for September. Instead of being Thursday of September 24th, or 25th, we will meet on Wednesday, the 24th. And this is, I'm going to remind you every month, and this is just above and beyond our control. So one time isn't going to hurt us to move. Okay, I am looking for a volunteer to research a gal that her name is Elizabeth Hull. She's from Big Rapids. She graduated in 1932 with high honors, and I'm not quite sure how we inherited it, but this is her diploma. And there's all kinds of fun little things in it. The graduating. Oh, okay. So her diploma is just beautiful, and it's in a velvety case. If anybody would have the time to research Elizabeth Hull from Big Rapids, maybe we can find some family to give this back to. Anybody that's interested, see me after. As always, please save up your Olson receipts. They go a long way to helping our budget. I think that's it. Many of you will remember Jamie from last year. Jamie Truax was originally from the capital region of New York and moved to Las Vegas for 17 years and now lives in Waters, Michigan. She's been working on her family history all her life. Jamie's mother and aunt were the family genealogist in her family, and about 10 years ago, they passed the job down to her. Professionally, Jamie works for the Diocese of Gaylord as cemetery coordinator. This job allows her to do a lot of family history work. She also teaches family history classes once a month on Zoom and travels around the state teaching. Jamie's favorite websites are Ancestry, Family Search, newspapers, and Fold 3. Please join me in welcoming back Jamie Truax.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me back. Today, I'm going to touch on Ancestry. We're going to go over ProTools. And ProTools is a paid additional subscription that you can add onto your Ancestry for $10 a month. And while I'm teaching, if you have any questions, ask at that time. Don't wait to the end. Let's deal with it because other people may be thinking the same thing. So just stop me and ask the question. Okay, so the subscription is, yes. I do not. I'll show you a ton on here. It's all really visual, kind of just exploring where you can find these Pro Tools, because they're kind of hidden in the 3 different places. They're redundant within there, but they're in different places to help you use them when you need them. So Ancestry, if you come to the library and use the free subscription here, you cannot get the Pro Tools at the library because the Ancestry here is an institutional subscription. You have to have a personal subscription. You're shaking your head, that's correct? Yes. So you would have to do this on your own personal account at your home or wherever. So the Pro Tools in Ancestry are created to help us manage the information in our family tree. So where do you find Pro Tools? You hook up your Pro Tools, and once you pay for them, it'll be one nice thing. I just want to put in there. One nice thing about Ancestry Pro Tools is you can subscribe to it, use it for a month, and turn it off. It is not something that you have to commit to a certain amount of time with. You can go month by month. So if it's summertime and you're home and you want to work on your work, then just get it for the 2 months in summer and then turn it off. You do not have to commit long term. Okay, so on Ancestry, over on the right here, it says Pro Tools Shortcut. Okay, and then you can go to more Pro Tools, and this kind of gives you an overview of what the Pro Tools are, but we're going to go through each of these. And honestly, this is not how I'm going to access Pro Tools at all. This is not where I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back to my tree. And then if I go here, you hover over this. This is your views. So you have your horizontal view, your vertical view, and your fan view. This is available to everybody on Ancestry, okay? But fan view is the one that gives you Pro 2 additional stuff. So let's go to fan view. Okay, so I should probably change my home person. So I don't know if you guys know this. Any quick thing, you get lost or you need to go back to your home person, I always think no place like home. You hit the house and it'll bring you right back. boom, there I am in the middle. Okay, so anywhere you are, you hit that house button and it'll bring you right back to center for you. Okay, so in Pro Tools or in Fan Chart, I think the public view only gives you 3 or 4 generations within the fan chart. If you go up here to this drop-down menu, you can see how high up you can go. Now, Family Search offers a fan chart. It's included. There's no subscription to Family Search. Let me show you where you find it in Family Search. So if you go to your family tree, and then, let's see, if you go up here and choose Fan Chart, here's your equivalent in Family Search. And I'm showing you this because you guys need to decide if it's worth $10 a month. And so if the other websites offer it for free, I just want to let you know that they offer it for free, okay? And on here, you can change birthplace, sources, stories, photos, research help. That is all on Family Search for free. Okay, let's go back to Ancestry. This is paid for when you get up to 7 generations. So if you go up to the fan settings again, you can go to, this is family lines. I'm on family lines. I'm at 7 generations. And I'm sure you guys all know you got your potentials, right? There's me in the middle. And then if I go to hints, this is going to show you in a gradient level. And you can see the gradient. The lighter the color, the fewer the hints. The green, the more the hints. I'm just going to put out a disclaimer right now. I do family history all day, every day in my job, but it's not my own. So my tree is, it's been neglected for quite a while, and that's why there's so many hints. But for me, chasing hints is like paying the minimum on your credit card. You're never going to catch them all because every time you open a hint, 5 more come through. Okay? So we can go here and we're going to hit photos. Again, it's a gradient level. You can see photos. Who do you have photos of? And then these back here, so someone like Robert Henry up here, he has less, but it shows 1. But those are a lot of times documents that I'm at a family's house and I'm like, ooh, quickly snapping pictures of, and those end up being the photos. And then we go down to sources. And this is how many you have connected to your people. So the darker the color, the more sources you have attached to them. I think I like this. However, you go over to Family Search, and if your trees are the same, now for me, my trees are not the same on both. For me, Ancestry is my filing cabinet. That's where I keep all of my stuff. Family Search, I move over what I need to move over in order to collect more information on the person. So, it depends on how you look at it. And I don't work for Ancestry. I'm not trying to sell it, just so you know. But I just want to make sure you know that there is a free version. Now, birthplace is something that Ancestry doesn't have, but Family Search does. And it kind of divides your tree in a fan chart with different locations. Okay. Any questions on Family Search? This is Family Search right here. Yep.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. And Family Search, these are only the options that you can use for filtering. Ancestry, your filtered options are right here. And again, you can go down to 4 generations. I think this is the public, this is the generic version, and then up to 7. And a fan chart's really nice, I'm sure you guys already know. It's a great place to find out where you are lacking big time. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over here, and I'm gonna hover over views, and then I'm gonna go down to charts and reports. And this is great. This is a different way to look at your tree. You have different options. You have your descendancy, You have your Anatuffle. I think I said that right. You have your Anatuffle view type. You have your register. And you have your family group sheets. All of these names in this document here, any document you use, are clickable. Okay, so I'll click on me. It brings you to, it opens it up in another window to my profile. Yeah, it screams mid-90s, doesn't it? Okay, and then the other thing you can do is you can choose your document style. So if you're creating a book, maybe a binder, or you're gifting it to someone in your family, you can print these up and put it in a style so they all look nice. It's nice. And you can go up to 7 generations. So if I show you descendancy, and I put 7 generations, it's not really showing much. There we go. Let me scroll down this side so you can see all 7 generations. And every view, every different type of style report gives you different types of information that it presents, and it presents it a little bit differently. So you just have to go through and try to find the style that you like, and then, you know, depends on what your preference is. If you go down to the bottom of this section, you can download, print, or share. So you have options to not keep it. So if you're working on other people's trees, which I do all the time, and I'll show you, there they all are. Okay, if you work on other people's trees, this is a great way. If you put the tree together and you want to send the information, well, you can download it, or you can just share it. And it's your way of taking something off of something that's paid for and sending it to someone without any cost to them. Okay, and you can change your focus person. So let's hit change. Let's see. We'll just throw in a name, Garcia. There we go. I'm going to select her. And there she is, your center person. Okay, and it's that easy. And again, every single name on here is clickable. I'm not going to say it's a good profile, but there you go. Everything is clickable. So Mexicans have fantastic Catholic Church records. You can follow Mexican family lines, just like I work with a lot of Poles where I work. There are lines also in Poland, and you can go in Family Search and get the translation for the keywords in Polish, and you can follow that line through the Catholic Church records. It's amazing. And the same thing with Mexicans. So you can go really far back. And of course, usually it's European countries where you can really go far back, and other countries you get stuck. But if they're Catholic, you're golden. You just have to tap into those sources. All right, any questions on this portion, the documents and stuff like that? Okay, I'm gonna go back to my tree. And I'm gonna go back to, and I'm gonna hover over my fan, and I'm gonna go down to Tree Mapper. And this is, to me, this makes the whole Pro Tools worth its weight in gold. Right here. Tree Mapper. We're gonna spend a little time on here because it's fantastic. All right, so you see here you have your map. Oh, where is all my stuff? Like, it should show people. Hold on. Let's turn off the filters and zoom in. Is it gonna light up? It is not gonna light up. Interesting. All right, let's go back to map filters. So this is actually the whole world. If you pull it, there they are, that's why. Oh, I'm on that lady, the other lady. Let me change my focal point. Yeah, that's not gonna work, is it? So let's see. I'm gonna put it back to me. That would be very helpful. Okay, and then we'll go back to Tree Mapper. Did it not work? Did it click? let's really get into it here. Let's see. Then we'll go back to tree. I had trouble, now I'm gonna admit, I had trouble with this last night. For it to click focal person, it was really, it kind of took some time, and it's kind of annoying because you feel like you should just be able to click on it and be good, but it's not gonna do that for me. So let's see how else I can do this. All right, I'm just gonna go to trees. Pay no attention to that bad yearbook picture down there because it is bad. So it's one of my, in the card catalog, they have a new one. It came out a few years ago, and it shows a lot of living people, and it has yearbooks. And you can put in living people's names. I'm like, you had 4 years to pick from, and that's the one you chose? It is so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see if it's gonna let me do it. Oh, come on, please. Please, please, please. Nope, I'm gonna log out and log in. Sorry, because it is not working. Unless anybody has a suggestion to get back the focus person. I feel like I'm actually gonna send them an email because I had the same exact problem last night and I had to keep logging out to get back. Let's see.
I want to say personal experience. I'm a baby in this whole stuff, and I had so many duplicates. I was shocked.
Oh, we're gonna talk about
And it
duplicates.
really,
Yes.
Got it down to like 4.
All right, it's gonna send me a text message. I gotta get my phone because I didn't expect to log out. Sorry. Man, I know, right? I live it too. Let's see. 5. I think the 2 verification code is very nice, but I find it very inconvenient. Yes. I don't always want that. Oh my heck, it did not work. Okay, let's try this. No. There we go. We're in. We are in. Okay. So this is my whole family tree. Okay. This is where Pro Tools, I love visuals. I love seeing things like this. This is super fun. And it works off a gradient scale again. And this is everybody in your tree. And it does take a few moments to upload. So look here. Here's my family. Yeah, isn't that cool to look at it like that? And it may seem so big, but you can focus in on this map. It's fantastic. So let's go. I'm going to try to stay in order because I will totally go off the rails because it's so exciting. Okay, so you can filter by name. Garcia. Here's all my Garcias. Okay, that's where they come from. Now you can zoom in and it will bring you right in. Right into the area, okay? Yes, it's so cool. And then let's do a different name that is very different from Garcia. Let's do Grant. And you can see how the map will change. There you go. New York is always the darkest because my family, my dad's side of the family has not moved since the early 1600s is when they landed there. They're still sitting in the same kitchen, drinking the same cup of coffee because they have not moved anywhere. Okay, then you can filter by location. So you can do, let's say New York. Well, let's do Michigan. There's not much in Michigan. So we're going to filter by Michigan. And then there's 24. So if I hover, it'll tell me how many. I can click and look over here. All of the stuff comes up and you can view all the people in Michigan for that filter, that specific filter. And then when you get to the bottom, let me go, you can go to, there's historical stuffs also, historical things, I should say, at the bottom. So if I do Michigan again and I hit, come on, and then I click Michigan, and then before right here, explore. Explore, I really love this because if you're looking at a certain area, it is really good to know what kind of things are happening in that area, and it may explain why people have come to that area, or some sort of history that your family may be a part of. And so that explore section is super cool. They have that also in the journeys. When you do your DNA, you have those journeys, and you can go into the historical, everything historical about those journeys. And I love the historical part because it really puts your people in that place. Yes. Uh-huh. Does it show? Let's filter by year.
Okay, oh, I see, okay.
So you want to keep Michigan?
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Let's see. Let's check it out. Let's do 1800 to 1875. Let's see how, we'll do 76 because, well, that's what I typed. Did it switch? Okay, here we go. So if we click here, it just says 2. I bet you 1 is me. Oh, it isn't. Funny. Okay, it's not showing anything. So you'll have an explore button up at the top, and it is not showing the explore button. Now, in Family Search, I don't know if they still have it. They used to have Life Story. Here it is. Oh, let's use someone. Well, we'll just use me. Life Story adds in historical portions.
Okay, that's in the context of that year.
Yes, for that year, that section, I'm going to go to my grandfather because that would help. That's my dad. Here's my grandfather. Let's go to his life story. So Ancestry is not as good at it as Family Search.
But you're looking at, this is Ancestry, and you're not.
You're right. Thank you. That's why it didn't show up. Yep. They look the same when you use them all day long. Okay. So let's go to find, and then let's put in Roy, Grant. We can pick anybody. We'll pick him. I don't know who he is, but I bet he has a life story. Timeline. There we go. Here we go. And this is where historical events are plugged in. You can turn this on and off in your settings if you want them or you don't want them. Okay, and that's where they plug it in. And if you have a person with a lot of information, you'll have a lot more historical information plugged into their tree. Okay? All right, let's see if Ancestry does also. So here's Alexander. A little bit there. Nope, I put that in there. Yeah. They used to. I think Ancestry used to, yes.
All of this stuff that's there, you have put in.
Correct. Right. But Ancestry used to pop in historical stuff. They used to, but I don't see it on here anymore.
Is it just on the DNA part where it does the mapping from where people were, like in France, and then went to Quebec, and then to?
It could be. But if you hit the, look what I just found, because they've moved things around on me. Okay, so if you hit the explore button, and this is beta, so that means it may or may not happen, right? It depends on how many people give feedback. Here we go. Here is information and news clippings according to my grandfather's life at the time he was in certain areas. Okay? So, it depends on what view you like and what kind of information you get. All right, so let's go back to tree mappers. Any other questions on that? Okay. And then let's delete our years. I wish they had, I'm gonna put in, so if you are using a new system or anything in Ancestry, they welcome feedback. There's always a feedback button. So like right here, I would love a clear filters button. And that's something you could always email them, and a lot of times they'll make it happen. So places and events. So you can do birth. Oh, let's get rid of Michigan here. There we go. So all of the births are going to pop up, and if you hover, it'll tell you I've got 20 births in Pennsylvania on my tree. Unclick and hit death. Here's my death ones. Don't forget to look at Europe and across the pond here, because it's a full map. You can do burials, where people are buried. Lived in, because people move. And all of these you can hone in. See, Germany has 5 people, and there's my 5 people in Germany. Everything you can hone in. And then, of course, I'm sure you know this, everything's clickable. So you can just click the name and it opens up a new tab, which is super nice. It doesn't take you off the tree. It just opens a new tab, which is super helpful. Okay, let's go back to the filters. Mark that one off. And then you have DNA. You can choose people's DNA. So I own 4 people DNA, it's family members. So you can plug in the DNA and have that map filtered for your DNA. Okay? I'm going to click with mine, and then you can do through lines. Where if anybody, does anybody use through lines? I love through lines. I love them. Possible DNA matches. Now remember, some of these filters, if you look here, if I click, they'll both come up. Do you see they're both checked? But if you go to the top, if you go to events and places, it's different. So remember to unclick what you don't want, because you're going to end up with extra stuff. Yes?
Can you explain through lines?
Yes, through lines. Through lines are, you have to do DNA. And then once you do DNA, you can go to through lines. Through lines come across 2 different ways. You can go into your through lines, or you can go to your tree. I'll show you both ways. Let me put it on horizontal. Right here. I'm gonna tell an embarrassing story. So there's DNA. So see this helix, the light blue one? Those are DNA matches. That means I own their tests. I own them both, and they are DNA matches. And then you have this. My eyesight was so bad, I thought this was an angel, but it is not. It's 3 people sitting together, and that tells you it's a through line. And forever, I thought those were, I'm like, oh, how sweet, it's an angel, but it is not. So you're thinking, okay, if you have through lines and you have to take your DNA, why would Tomasita Salinas have a through line? I did not get her DNA. She was dead before I was alive. So how through lines work is you take a DNA, I take a DNA. We're cousins, but we don't know it. And we're like 3rd cousins 12 times removed. But we both take DNA, and we both build our tree. So Ancestry looks at the tree, and it also projects your tree according to who's in your tree. And then they find a match, and there's your through line from one DNA test to another. Okay? So if you want to click, no, mine's private. Yeah. You have to do DNA. This will not happen if you don't do it. Yes. Yeah. Mine's private because it's a long story. Maybe it's petty. Yes, but you have to do DNA. Through lines are only come with DNA. So it's 2 DNA tests connected together. So let's click Tomasita. We'll go to her, and then she's going to have a through line button. Or did they take it away? They took it away. Okay, let's go up to DNA. I'll show you how to get to them. So you go to through lines. And this is pretty cool. So this is your first set of grandparents. There's 4. Second set. This is a great way to see where you need to get pictures and stuff like that. So if I go out here and I hover, I have 5 DNA matches to this one person. So I can click, And here's my through lines. So it has him. So this is the shared match that I have chosen. It can still go higher, it probably does. But if you see here, Cora Bell Pratt, I click for DNA matches, and you can follow the line all the way down. Do you see George, Cora, Bernice, and then Norma? And then 4 DNA matches. These are all my cousins, right there. So all of these cousins took DNA, and we all built a tree, and we all have the same. And that is how through lines work. Think of it, it goes you, goes up your tree, and then comes back down your tree to another person. Does that make sense?
Yes, so say I have a cousin that's not involved with Ancestry. What do I do? Just pay for her DNA to send it in? Even though
Yes.
she's not a member?
So if she is willing to take her DNA, you set it up with her email. Don't do it on your own. This can get messy. Do it on her email, set it up, you can purchase it. She spits in the tube, she sends it back, and then once the DNA results come, there's a way to give yourself, someone else, permission to manage your DNA. And then she just signs it over. She doesn't give it away. She still owns it and has access to it, but it allows you to put it on a tree and have that drop-down menu so you can click on it at any time. The more DNA you have collected, the better your tree is going to be. Yes?
Sometimes those through lines, though, especially when you get up to like the 5th grade grandparents, they're guesstimates on Ancestry's part, so you still need to
Yes.
look at them and make sure that they're correct.
They can get a little hairy,
Occasionally, they're not quite correct.
especially if you have someone,
Generations of times.
especially if you have someone who does their DNA and they haven't really built a tree, then Ancestry has to guess. So it does like some guessing. Kind of like when you look at your tree and it says potential, they're filling in the potentials and they're betting that they're correct. They're not always correct.
Think of more as leads.
Yeah.
Leads to investigate. And I've broken through long-standing brick walls with them,
Yes,
but I consider them to be leads to investigate.
absolutely. Yes.
I'm sure you won't remember, but you did help me on my through lines. I have several people that they're trying to tell me is my 4th great grandfather because I matched DNA with these cousins and they say it's this man, but they have no documentation.
Yeah.
That's something people have to watch. Without documentation, DNA is still.
Right. Yes. I mean, I've had a cousin contact me. I know she's a cousin because we share DNA. And she was adopted. And she goes, I'm guessing you're related to me on the Irish side. I'm like, well, I don't think so because I don't have any Irish. So I knew it was the Mexican side. She was about my age. So one of my uncles had an affair. But just because we have the DNA, we can't figure it out unless I have their DNA, and they weren't giving it up. I wonder why.
Are you going to show the other side of this where it comes down to the other person?
Yeah. So right here. Well, let me pick someone else that's a little bit more distant in relation so you can kind of see it.
Farther back you go, the sketchier they get.
So let's see. 0. See, that one says 0. Oh. So my dad was a product of an affair. Okay, I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you what happens when DNA tells a story families might not want you to know. Okay, so here we go. So Francisco is our lead person. So I'm going to go down this line right here. So this person, I have no clue who this person is. They took their DNA. That's their mother. That's their father, grandfather, and it goes all the way up to here. And then it comes down to me. Do you see that? So it goes up one and then down the other. All right, so let me show you how. If you go to your tree, you have to hook up your DNA. There's little toggle buttons you can click to attach your DNA. If you get to your DNA and you don't attach it, you're not going to get these. Okay, so you have to attach your DNA to your tree. That's a great idea. Well, I can't tell that story. Just kidding. No, it's a mistake. That's an error. I don't have his DNA. No, I do not. I do not. But if you look at my tree, I have my DNA connected to my tree, but you can clearly see there's an entire branch with no DNA connections. Do you guys see that? That means my dad is clearly related to me, but his father, there's nothing. That's right. He's father of record. My grandmother, he left. The story is he left. Long story, very long, a sad story. And she was left with 12 kids. And she ended up he wouldn't divorce her because he didn't want to give up any money. So she ended up having 3 affairs, and my dad was one of them. But we keep the last name Filkins because back then, whatever person you're married to that's the last name the child gets. And he never even knew who his dad was. I actually just discovered that about 15 years ago, who his biological dad was. And after knowing that story, I'm going to keep Filkins. And the other thing is I chose him on my tree instead of Jaeger. So my biological grandfather is Adolf Jaeger. But I keep him because he's my shared memories are with these people. I share names. We share memories. I grew up. Those are my cousins. The others, I just met one. That's not my people. We may share same blood, but for me, that's not my people. But I can switch the view and look at the other view, but I don't even work on that line because these are my people.
How can you put both on there?
You can switch it out. So, yeah, you can change it out, do preferred. So if I go to my grandmother here, you can go into, let's see, tools, edit relationships, and then right here, husbands. Where's husbands? Spouse. And here's Adolf Jaeger. And then I have other. I have him listed as other. I don't even have him listed as spouse. And then in family search, you can also set your preferred so it's visual. Okay? Yeah.
There's also the tags.
You can do tree tags.
Do a lot of things with tags to
Yeah, tree tags, you can even search with tree tags, but let me show you on family search how I handled that situation because, you'd be surprised at how many people find out some answers after they do their DNA. And it is very shocking and sad when it happens and they don't know. I found out. I found out when I was 17 or 18. Okay, so here's Norma. This is my grandma. This is preferred. Do you see it says preferred? Right there where my cursor is, it says preferred. So right here, this pencil is how you can change preferred and not preferred, okay? So I picked him as preferred. But if I go down here to the other guy, right here, so this is my dad's biological dad. If I click on him, I actually have a warning. Important research has been done because the family doesn't believe it, even though they took their DNA, and there I am, surprise, it's a girl, but they still they don't believe it. So for me, I put this on here, that there's a note, and then if you come down on the right side, here's my note. So it references this note. Now, you can just put a note without a warning, but I want to make sure people know, I know what's happening here, and here's my information. Does that make sense? Yes. Oh, yes, yes. So because Family Search is a community-based family tree, you are not in charge. People can come in and change things. So family members can come in. So right here, see this star? It says following. I follow. So I can unfollow. See, it says you're no longer following. I can hit follow. That means anytime that there is a change made to him, I get an email. I get notified there's a change. Beware. When this first came out, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm following everybody. Don't do that. Because the emails, I was drowning in emails. So choose wisely. And then you can go through your following right here. There's a button that says following. And you can manage your follows right here. Of course, Elvis, got to follow him, right? And then you can go through. And then, and
Family search that a lot of people put the wrong information in.
yes, because a lot of people on Family Search, because it is a great resource. I call Family Search a bucket of love because it's where you could publicly put something that may not even be your relative, but you have a photograph of someone from the war and you put it up, and it allows the families to get things that they don't have. But you also have people who are like, I can do this, and just hop on and start putting things in, and that's where people like us get really frustrated, which is why I keep my blueprints. That's my filing cabinet is Ancestry and what I need. So if something gets deleted, I just open my drawer in Ancestry, pop it back onto Family Search. Yes?
I also don't understand that two people or many can have the same name.
Yes.
Patrick Masterson, how many do you think there are?
Yes. Yes. Right. Or Jose Garcia is my grandfather. Like, do you know how many there are? Yes.
You said you can click on and pop it over. How do you do that? From Ancestry to.
I misspoke. If you are a member of the LDS Church, there is a bridge that comes with that membership. You do not have the bridge if you're not LDS. You would have to manually pop it back, put it up. Sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes.
One thing on Family Search when I looked, my brother was passed. Well, no, he's not.
Yeah.
I know right where he is.
Mhm.
And I just changed it, but then I notified Family Search, and I don't remember where, I'm sorry, but I notified, I am sister, this, and this, living here, and put that in. Next thing you know, they did change it officially,
Uh-huh.
because he was.
If he's living, he shouldn't even show up.
I'm sorry?
If he's living, I would just delete it. If he's a living person, it's on Family Search, it should not be showing only on your side. So if you're seeing a person who's alive on a public forum where you know he's alive, okay, let me back up. So when you're on Family, yeah, delete it.
Okay.
Delete it. Because that's not yours, because you would have had him listed as a living. So that means he is passed. That means they have different ID numbers, right? Because in Family Search, everybody has an ID number. So that dead version of your brother has a different ID than the version that you have where he's living. So just delete it.
Well, now he's passed, but that's it.
Oh, but if that happens,
Like 5 years ago when I saw this.
delete it. If you see a living person listed as deceased, that is not your entry, that is someone else's entry, and delete it.
And do you let Family Search overall know?
No.
You just delete it?
Yeah,
Things keep getting changed, and parents that are just.
but you're not deleting it on your tree.
No.
Right, you're deleting this public one because when they're deceased, it becomes public. As soon as you list someone as deceased, all of a sudden the whole world can see it. But if you have living people on your tree, only you can see them. So that means there's two profiles because you don't want to make duplicates in Family Search. Check the ID number. I guarantee you they're different. 100% they're different. So just delete the one that's wrong. You're welcome.
I thought Family Search is out there for the world.
It
You're
is.
saying that you have your own tree on Family Search?
No, but you are the only one who can see your living people. So when you create Family Search and you put you in there,
Right.
and then I log in and let's say we're cousins, I'm not going to see you,
Oh, really?
right? It's just going to show like a lady, like a pink picture,
How
right?
do you know? How do you know that the rest of the world isn't seeing you then?
Try it. Try it.
I'd have to have somebody else look it up, wouldn't I?
Or just
Or
create
I
another
still
one.
have a number.
Create another one in your husband's name, and then get on and see if you can see it. So a good example is like photographs. If you have a photograph and you post a photograph of a family, a large group family, I'm going to show you a very large group family picture. and it's going to show up with tags, okay? Now, if you get on, anybody here can get on, log into Family Search, and pull up my grandmother by the ID number, and you can pull up the same one, and you're only going to see the tags of people that have been marked deceased. Here's the picture. You ready? It's going to go quick. Tags, okay? But if you get on your phone right now and you put in that ID number, only a few of those people, the picture will show, but only a few of them will have tags, because once they're deceased, their tags become public. But they can still see the picture. Does that make sense? Yes. So even though your name is not out there if you're living, there are still things out here. Okay? My father passed away last month, right here, and I have not made him deceased yet, because I need to go through his stuff. You know, I thought he would be much older when he passed away. So I need to go through and kind of weed things out before I make him deceased in my tree, because as soon as I make him deceased, public. Everything becomes public. And there's a lot of stuff in there, you know, personal family stuff, and I still have little kids. That's not really what I want out there publicly. So remember that. With deceased people, it is public. Not in Ancestry. Ancestry is different. Ancestry is public unless you make it private. Or you can be, yes?
What if, say your sister made a tree,
Mm-hmm.
but her father made a tree? Is the same
Which program are we using?
in Family Search.
In Family Search. Okay.
People have a shared relative who
Okay, so let me tell you how both trees work. Ancestry, you buy into Ancestry. Let's say I got 10 cousins. We each buy a subscription to Ancestry. We each build a tree. We each have our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, everybody's in there. Okay? There's going to be 10, my name's going to be on there 10 times. Okay? Family Search doesn't work that way. It is a worldwide community tree. That means there's one deceased person, one deceased profile per deceased person. Well, that's different, because before they're dead, nobody can see them except you. Okay. Okay, so you got these 10 cousins, right? They all have grandpa in there living. Grandpa dies, and the same day everybody deceased them in the program, you will have 10, and you have to work down those duplicates. You will end up with 10 duplicates, and you have to reconcile those down. The greatest thing about that, though, in like that situation, you have 10 people. It's not going to take anything away. It's actually going to collect everything and put it in one. So your profile, the profile for him may have 10 pictures, but after you pull in all those duplicates, you could end up with 50 pictures, because it's taking the pictures from all the other profiles that are out there. Because you only want one profile per deceased person in Family Search. Make sense? Okay. All right. All right, let me go back to tools. Any more questions on that? Because that's very important to understand how those, because the websites are very different. And if you don't know how each of them work, you're gonna mess things up. Also, a little disclaimer. When you are working, I have worked with people who are like, well, that's my 7th great-grandfather. Yeah, you and a million other people. And so keep that in mind, have grace. Remember, not everybody is as trained as we are in doing family history, and a lot of people don't know and don't understand. So you'll see a lot of mistakes out there. Yes?
23andMe.
Do you use that one?
I have done the DNA there as well.
But it doesn't attach to a tree.
Right. But now that they're in bankruptcy or possibly going to be bought,
Uh-huh.
I deleted all of my data
Mm-hmm.
because that was recommended for the DNA. But people that don't, if say I've heard Ancestry is going to buy that,
Mm-hmm.
will they then, as you talk about, merge everything? Do you think?
Ancestry doesn't matter if they're merged, because the only reason why you would worry about duplicates is duplicates on your own tree. Because remember, you own your own tree in Ancestry. So if I make a tree, my sister can have the same exact tree, and it doesn't matter. You can't change each other's tree, but you can pick the fruit off the tree. So duplicates in Ancestry only matter when it's in your own tree. Okay? Family search, duplicates matter all the time. Always. Always matters. And where can you find duplicates? I'll show you. So if you go to a person's profile and you go on the right side, you go to details, and on the right side, this is my grandma, so I'm not going to have any errors. Right here, you will see an red exclamation point. It says possible duplicate. Sometimes there are going to be 10, and you have to sit there and you have to reconcile all of them. But the system doesn't delete the person. It just takes all of those profiles and brings them into one. You have one number, and then it replaces that number, and so everything works out. I promise you, it all works out. Okay?
Where does it say that? Possible?
It doesn't right here, but I can find one. So let's view tree. I have to go out pretty far because, let's see. Let's go onto the Mexican side. Mexican side, if anybody's Mexican, there are a lot of problems because it is very hard. People don't understand tracing Mexican names. So you get a lot of people, like my grandmother's name is Santos Maria, Saint Maria, Mary. So it'd be Santos Maria Jose Jesus. Some girls get 40, there's those names, and then you get your mother's name, or you give your given name. So you can have 4 names, then the name you go by, then your mother's last name, then your father's last name. So things get really messy in Mexican world. Okay, let's see this one. I'm looking for a possible duplicate. There we go. There it is. Possible duplicate. Yep. And then you go through, you do a review match, and it'll separate the two, and you decide what you're going to keep, or even if they are. Sometimes, like in that case, when you have Jose Garcia, it's not a duplicate. It's just a guy who lived on the same street who has the same name. And it happens. So you have to decide first if it actually is a duplicate. Okay? All right, any other questions on that? And if you guys want to, you can go to my grandmother and look up her ID number. You can write it down and look her up and see how those tags don't show up on yours. I'll pull her back up and you guys can write down her ID number. And at your leisure, you can look her up and you'll see only a few of the tags will come up. Now, do you see her ID number by her birth date right here? That's her ID number. There are no IDs in Ancestry, only in Family Search. So here's another hint. When you are working in Family Search and you're building a tree, the first thing you do is you search to see if that person is already on the tree. Okay, so you're looking up your 3rd great grandfather. Don't just add him, because you're going to create a duplicate. Search him. See if he's out there. If he's out there, grab that ID number, go to add grandfather, click it, and just put in the ID number, and it just attaches the whole thing. You don't have to do all that work. Those ID numbers are very valuable and save a lot of time. Yes. How about this? Even better? There you go. And then go into her photos or her gallery or her memories. I think it's memories now. They changed the names. Got to keep me guessing, make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. And then you can see that picture under memories, and you'll open that same exact picture, but I guarantee you not as many tags come up because boom, and you won't see them all. All right. Okay, so let's go back to tools. Should I go back to tools? Are we good? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see here, tree mapper. Let's go back to tree mapper, and we go down here. So let's click off the DNA stuff, and let's go down to family. I want to go to possible errors. All right. You're going to see how bad I actually am. Okay, so possible duplicates. With Ancestry, this is possible duplicates within your own tree. Okay, that means you created 2 people by accident. And it is easy to do, I have found out. So if you scroll in, I got 95 people. I don't know if it took that. There's so many filters here. Let's go through them all. I'm not going to go through them all because I want to make sure I show you other things. But you can do possible errors. Here's all the ones, okay? Then you can go through hints. Who has hints? You click it, and then you can zoom in and figure out where you want to research those. Then if you use tags, does anybody use tags? Tags in Ancestry? This Pro Tools made tags even better. It stepped up tags because now you can search tags. You can search certain tags. So you can do like cremated. So I have tagged people in all these areas that are cremated. So now I can zoom in. So if I want to check on something, so let's do this. Left off here. This is end of line. Okay. So if I want to work on brick walls, I'm going to click let off here. That is not correct. I think that is not what that is. There's an end of line. Let's see. Hold on. Life experience, DNA. Look at them all. There's so many. Research tags. Here we go. Brick wall. So I have certain people labeled as brick wall. But I think I have 2 tags posted. This is where you got to be careful. Make sure. See, I've got 2, so it's not working. All right, so brick wall. I've got 1 in New York, and there he is. So if you put these tags on your people, and you're like, okay, I want to work on brick walls today, you don't remember where all your brick walls are. So you click that, and boom, there they all are. Okay, you can go in and work on them. Does everybody know how to do a tree tag? No? Okay, I'm going to cover that. Let me show you one other thing before I cover that. I want to show you, there's one down here that is great for working with research. Nope, it's in a different section. Those are tree tags. Okay, so we're going to go to a person's profile. So here we are in Ancestry. Right here, I have her tagged buried and verified. Verified means to me, well, that's my grandmother. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I've got it. So that tells me I've got it verified. You go to this pencil, click the pencil, and you can add, you hit edit, and you can add custom tags, DNA tags. They have tags that are offered, and it tags your people. And you can put as many tags as you want. Isn't that cool? It's really great. You should, if you haven't, I've been using Ancestry from the very 13 years. Man, it has come a long way. It really has. It is amazing. Okay, I got to figure out where I am. Okay, so let's go back to tools. Are we good on that? I don't want to take anybody out of there. Okay, so go hover over. All right, I got to find out where I am. I lost my place because to the left, hover over, click Insights. Okay, Insights and Reviews. Let's see here. We're going to go back. Come on. So we're going to go to Tree Insights. This is fun. This is fun stuff. It also shows you how bad I am. Because this is where some errors have come in. All right, this is the most common surnames. Okay, you ready for this? The oldest people in your tree. I don't know if you guys know, but my family's amazing. 146. Isn't that amazing? Okay, let me preface this. I started with Ancestry a long time ago before when they used to just upload the trees and you just kind of took them in. I have come a long way. I've got a lot of work to do. Honestly, I wish I could just dump the whole thing and restart, but that's bad too, right? So here I am having to deal with my issues. So you can go down. Children. Now, 24 may seem like a lot, but maybe not. I mean, both of my grandmothers had 15. So it's not out of the picture, but it's something that you can look at and see. Yeah. Okay, now I want to go back to Pro Tools, and I want to go to, all right, you guys ready for this? And I warn you, be prepared if you do this on your tree. Ouch. Here we go. So first off, I want to tell you I'm a 7.4 out of 10. That ain't bad, right? Until you read the numbers. I have 1,298 duplicates. That's not Family Search duplicates. That's me. I'm the problem. Me. Okay? So a lot of people are like, someone changed something in my tree. And when it's Ancestry, I have to pull out a mirror and go, this is who it is. It's you. It's Family Search. That's a different story. But if it's in Ancestry, in this case, I'm the problem. I am my own problem. So I have 4,312 people not documented.
Do you think part of that is how they add them? You know, how you add the person?
Yes. So
Because, I mean, part of it I think is their fault. Part of it's my fault. You know?
Yeah.
'Cause I
But
would like-
Ancestry is I'm not going to say you. I will use first person. If I take something off of someone else's tree, I am the sole responsible person in making sure that information is correct on my tree. On Family Search, yeah, it could be anyone. However, it does keep track of who makes changes. So it could actually be you. Here's your own problem on that tree. But I, mhm.
It's like when you take the potential that they suggest, you click it on, but you don't have time to deal with it then. That's where it ends up no documentation.
Let me show you what she's talking about. So if you go into, let's go to my tree, and you go to potential matches. Here they are. See, here's a green one up here, Barton Richardson. So this is just like through lines. Ancestry is making a good guess. We think this is your guy. Don't just add it because it might be wrong. And it's working off of, it's making this assumption on other people who have worked in Ancestry who have built the same tree. Well, if you have one person who put this information up and then all these other people got on, like 20 other people got on, like, oh, she's got all the answers. And then they pull it. Remember, you can pick the apples? Well, they're picking rotten apples and putting rotten apples on their tree. And then Ancestry's like, well, this has to be right. No, it doesn't. It does not have to be right. So it is your responsibility to get in there, check those sources, and make sure it is your guy. Okay? All right. Clearly, I did not have that education when I started family history a gazillion years ago. And then other possible errors. So we can go down here. And so here's this guy. I can click his name, but I'm actually going to click the exclamation point. So you can go down this list. You can pick your filters, possible duplicates, people with no sources. I'm going to actually turn that one off. And then what's really nice is when you have duplicates, it goes in alphabetical order, so all your duplicates are right next to each other. So you don't have to go searching. They're right there waiting for you. All right? And then, so Nathan Atwood, I'm going to click here. It's going to open up all my problems. He's got some issues. Yeah. I think I have problems. Right. So it'll show you, yes.
It's comforting to see that you have the same issues that we come up with.
I do. And I actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see my score. I did not expect a 7.4. I thought I'd be like 9, 9.5. No, I really have issues. And I say go through it one by one, just spend your time. Like I said, if you purchase this over the summer and you got time over the summer, then just go down the line and you can fix all this. All of this is fixable. Yes? Oh, I like that. I like that. Now, if you want to make yourself a to-do list, if you go over to Family Search allows you to make a to-do list right on their front page. Right here. My to-do list. Make a to-do list. Right there. See? Make another list. And then you hit that, and then it becomes part. And then once you're done, you click it. So you can have a running to-do list on one of your websites if you like. This is only for you to see. Even though Family Search is a public forum, your to-do list is yours and it's private.
Well, also you can do that for where you left off.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where those ID numbers come in handy. And if I'm working in Family Search and Ancestry, I actually take the ID number and put it in my Ancestry profile. So if I want to hop on the other one, I can just copy and paste, boom, there he is. Yep. So you just move that ID over.
Where do you put it?
Anywhere you want. You can,
Under fax?
yeah, fax, custom, anywhere you want. You can label it, just be consistent. Whatever you choose, make sure it's right. You can put it in notes, because you can now put notes. Up in the top right-hand corner by my tree tags. Notes are private, comments are public. Notes, private, comments, public. Don't forget that. Yes. And you can put it up there, you can put it there, things like that. And so that is a very fast reference, so you don't have to go climbing your tree, especially if you're working on like uncle's, cousin's, brother's, niece. Yes.
So if you put it in the tab under, because you can pick, you know, it doesn't have to be whatever, custom,
Yes.
you could put it there, but then other people can see it?
On your ancestry, if it's public,
Okay.
but nobody can change it. But they have full access to the family search anyway.
So I have some ancestors that were in the American Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
so I put their DAR or SAR number
Yes.
under custom or military or something,
You can put multiple things under custom.
right?
Yeah. And I just put
That's a great idea.
family search ID number, and then I put it in there. Now, remember we talked about duplicates. Let's say someone comes up and creates a duplicate of the person you're connecting to. Then you use that ID number and it's gone. It's because there was a duplicate and they reconciled it and it's just got a different ID number, so just update the ID number because that person is still on the tree. Okay? Makes sense? Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go to list of people. Let me find where I am. I am all over the place. All right, hold on. Let's see. This is my problem. I jump ahead and I don't even watch my stuff. So if we go into home, let's find it. Pro Tools. Networks. This is a beta program. Check it out. I checked it out a little, but if you go to your tree, I think it shows up in here. It's a list. Here we go. Everyone has access to the list, whether you have Pro Tools or not. However, there's things within the list that other people don't have access to with Pro Tools. So this is the list, which looks what we were just looking at. I just want to tell you, it's the problem finder, the error finder is also your list. But all of this stuff up here, this whole top section is Pro Tools. You cannot look at your possible duplicates. You have to find them on your own if you don't have Pro Tools. You cannot look up people with no documentation. You have to figure it out yourself. Same with all of this other stuff. So that is one really great way. Oh, and here's this. Look at this. Yeah, that's a problem. So again, that was in my younger years. But then you'll find people who have absolutely no connections that are in there. Or if you guys make floating trees, anybody make floating trees? And you lose your people, this is how you can find them, people with no connections.
So if you click on one of those, what happened? Did it disconnect?
It brings you to a person.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't say the name though. Oh, I see. That's what the problem is.
isn't that in depth? So I have the kids, but I don't have the parents. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would have to think about that because it got moved. But yes, there is a place. Yes, it's in here. You can look up disconnected people. For sure. So I do floating trees all the time. It's where you know someone's related. So you create this person floating. Does anybody know how to do that? Okay, let me show you. All right, so let's say I am looking at DNA matches, all right? And I see a cousin we have shared DNA, and I see my family name right there. They gotta be related, but for the life of me, I cannot connect these people, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'll pick Jose. I'm gonna go to his profile. Okay, and I'm gonna do edit, and then I'm gonna do, no, I'm gonna add down here, add. It doesn't matter what you pick, spouse, brother, it doesn't matter because we're gonna disconnect them. All right, Shaka Khan. Okay, that's what we're gonna name her. All right, we're gonna hit save. Okay. Shaka Khan is now his spouse. Well, he's not married to Shaka Khan. You know, we all know that. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up here to edit relationships. Okay. And then I'm gonna find Shaka Khan on here. And then I'm gonna hit the X, remove relationship. This disconnects her from Jose, but it does not delete her from the tree. Okay, so let's look. She is gone. But if I go over here, find in tree, Shaka Khan. Oh, there she is. Okay, so now she's floating. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do all the research I can on Shaka Khan. I'm gonna give her sources and build her tree. And at some point, you're gonna find that one relative that is married somewhere, and you're like, oh, and then you connect them, and boom, it's no longer floating. Okay? But they're easy to lose. Those floating trees are easy to lose. Yes. Yes. So guess what? I'm not related to Shaka Khan, so I'm just gonna delete her. So you just delete her, there she goes, all gone. Okay? All right. Crazy. Okay, it is 2:30. We're opening it up to questions. Do we have questions? Anything? Yes.
I wish there was I signed up for Pro Tools and I didn't feel like there was a good educational thing. Like, I mean, you were teaching me so much and going over so much. Am I missing something on Ancestry that they have someone talking about all this different stuff?
Yeah, you can find stuff on YouTube. You can find blogs. Everything has a question mark too. So if you go into charts and reports, see all these, let me make it bigger. See these little question marks? Those are clickable. And it will tell you all about it. Okay, so if you ever go, what the heck is this? Click that question mark. There's question marks. We don't even see them most of the time. We don't even realize they're there, but there's question marks all over the website. Okay, so I would do that, but it just is a trial and error. For me, Pro Tools, I teach all the time, so I do the deep dive because I have to. And I have a Zoom class that I hold every month. I didn't have it last month because my father passed away. So it's the second Wednesday of every month, school months. We take the summer off and no December. So it's September, October, November, and then it is January through May.
And what time is that?
That is from 7, I'm gonna log in to,
So is it recorded if you can't make it? Can you catch it later?
no, I'm not that fancy. I literally do it in my sewing room. So, I don't think I know the login to my sewing. Anybody want to get on Facebook? And then look up Family History with Jamie, Jammie. And then you can find, yeah, that would be great. I'm going to type it up here. Okay.
Front and center.
Okay, Zoom. I'm going to type everything. I say that every time. Tuesday, school months. Wednesday, you're right. Again, I did it again. Wednesdays, yep, not December. Yes, Family History with Jamie, Jammie. I'll type it up here so you can do it. All right, so what is it? 975 536 4433. And then 4. It's easy to remember. It's Michael Jackson. 4 hee hee, right? Sorry. Thanks for laughing. right? Is it the first H, is it capitalized?
No, I think it's,
The second one?
yes, just the second one.
For yeah. Okay. There is the password. There we go. Okay, and then my Facebook is Family History with Jamie. My email is sojamie@gmail.com. My cell number, best way to get a hold of me is texting, is right there. And a lot of times, even if I'm at work and you text me with a question, I'm already in the websites working. So just shoot me a text and I can get right on and do it. Okay, let's see. Yes.
Us looks, because I've been curious about Pro Tools and I've never signed up for it. It looks like they're useful for viewing your ancestry tree in different ways, and thank you for cleaning it up, which looks really helpful.
Yes.
Have you used the Pro Tools in any way to help you research?
Research, no. The only thing mildly research related is Tree Mapper, where you can go in and then you get that explore information and that gives you the history on the area. That is the only place. No, it does not. No. It's a personal cleanup is what it is basically. And I mean, if you're going for the fan chart, just go to Family Search. It's for free. Okay. Where was I going to go? Ooh, I lost my train of thought. Yes. Or if you're a person who likes paper copies, you can get all these reports printed up. But you could do that in Family Search for free also. You know?
I'm looking you up under Facebook. Family History with Jamie.
Is it on there?
2 M's
I got
is the
that.
key.
Yeah, and I don't see anything recent.
No, my father passed. We've had
Yep.
my father passed, and then we had the ice storm. I've been kind of off the grid.
That's right.
Oh, it's
That's
family history with Jamie. It's got a big, huge tree on top.
So I got Family History with Jamie. See it up there on the top?
Yeah, that's not it.
And that's not you.
Nope.
So,
Let's do people, groups.
so sorry if I'm interrupting here.
Here it is.
What
There it
did
is.
you
It's the
do wrong?
top one. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So it has a big gnarly tree at the top. And so before all of my classes, I'll post the Zoom number and the time as a reminder. This is also a great place to post questions, or sometimes when DNA goes on sale, I post that it's on sale, and then people can get information on there. Also, when you post on there, there's other people doing family history work that will jump in and help. And it's a private group, so it's not just anybody. Everybody who asks, I have to say yes to. So we don't have crazy stuff happening. No, just come hang out in my sewing room. All right, so I want to show you other things because I got a few more minutes, right? Okay, perfect. So if we go up to, there's more stuff in Pro Tools. If you go over to, let's see, enhanced shared matches. I want to show you how this works. So we get into enhanced shared matches. You can access this through where I just went, or you can go to DNA and shared matches. You'll get to the same place the same way. Okay? Okay, before I get too far into this, I do want to show you one thing on here. On everybody's profile, if you have Pro Tools, you have 2 Pro Tools right here on everybody's profile. So there are many different places to access these Pro Tools. They're the same exact Pro Tools over the website. These are not different from the ones I just showed you. It just gives you quicker access right here on the profile, okay? All right, so let's see. Enhanced matches. So if you go in here for enhanced matches, we have filters. This is new. And you can now, this is Pro Tools, you can filter your DNA, types of matches, trees, shared matches, groups, which I love groups. I color code all my matches. Journeys, journeys are my favorite. I absolutely love journeys. And then parents, labeling, okay? So you have a lot of filters within your shared matches. But if I go down, so I'm gonna pick someone, let's just pick this one right here. Remember I told you about a cousin who's related? She thought she was related on the Irish side? No. So if I click her, and I go to shared matches, okay. In your non-Pro Tool view, you will not have this third column. This third column is Pro Tools only. And it kind of gives you a grid on these shared matches. So if I'm going through, and you can change how it's sorted. You can do you change all kinds of things, okay? And every one of these people are clickable. So if I want to change, I go to Big Dog Jr., which is my Uncle Tucker. I can click him, and he will shift and move to the third column. Do you see that? So if you're going through and you're trying to find a missing person in your DNA, you just click, and they pop up into your third column, and that becomes your compared person. All right, that is a Pro Tool extra right there. All right. Okay, I wanted to kind of go over. Oh, journeys. Yes, let's go to journeys. So when you do your DNA, do you have any journeys on yours?
Yeah, and I use shared matches a lot in my research, but journeys is interesting, but how do you use it?
Journeys for me is kind of a history lesson. Why did Cajun people come here? Why did the Mexicans settle here? What is their story? Or up there you have the French Canadians. So here's my journeys. All right, and I can zoom in. So let's click here. And then you can do, so if I click this journey, is it gonna let me click it? My end. I think we're gonna have to go through the other way. No. Nope. Nope. For me, it is the pure love of knowing more about that area. So if you, yes, huge history lesson. Here it is. Here's your history lesson, but it plugs people in from your tree into this history lesson. So here is this journey. Let me scroll down. And it gives you a history of how people came here. Now it shows immigration coming over. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling. It talks about things. Now here's people. Within these years, you can see your timeline over here. You can see where it is, and you can see people on my tree in that timeline. And then there's show 3 more, so you can click more. So you keep scrolling. Here comes more. So this is why I love it, because it actually makes the people come alive. And you can see their journey. You can see their journey across the ocean, why they came here, what group of people came together. And you can go through, especially the older ones, because you don't know them as well. And you can do this with every single journey. Now, the map moved because now everybody is over here. So it shifted over to the United States. And all of this is clickable. You can click in here and click them. Boom. Everybody's clickable. So it's a journey. You can go on a journey with your ancestors. And my major in college was history. Surprise, shocker. So this for me is super fun. And then we have New York State of Mind, and then it shows, where they went and why they probably went. Now, if I look, that doesn't mean it's true. So the journeys come with stories. Why did these people immigrate here? So here's a good story about my Mexican family. Oh, they came here for jobs, blah, blah, blah. No. the law shot my great uncle, so my great grandfather shot the law, and they had a boogie. And that is how my family came to the United States. So not every journey is true, but it kind of gives you an idea of the migration of those people. Maybe that's a common story. I don't know. I haven't met other people. So you can go through all your journeys like that. Now, if you own other people's DNA, you can go through their journeys. Okay, so this is Richard Grant. So you see here I have Mexico, right? Richard Grant is a half uncle. And I click him. He does not have Mexican journey because we don't share that line. So you can go through his journeys. Does that answer?
Yeah, I do this. I always feel like I'm missing something that could give me clues that I could go deeper with.
If anything, you read the history and you can see kind of where they are, and maybe it'll give you an idea of where you can go do research. You know, if you find out there was a big, huge fire and they have a list of people, I see my family name, and then you can research that. So in a roundabout way, but it's not direct. You have to really do the legwork. So I wanted to go over a few of my favorite websites. So Family Search, of course, statueofliberty.org. I don't know if anybody has checked that out. statueofliberty.org. It costs money to log in. It is free. I don't know why I said that. It is free. It does not cost any money. You create a login. You can look at the actual documents, and then it'll say, we'll send you a copy for $20. Or, you know what you do? You pull up your snipping tool, and you snip that. Right here. You use your snipping tool, and then you use it, poop, pop it out, save it, and you didn't pay a dime. Okay? Snipping tool is your best friend. Always use your snipping tool. If you don't know how to use it, I pulled it up. I'm going to do this, and you click, hold, boom, it extracts it, you save it, and there you go. It's yours. Okay? It's like a coupon clipper. Okay, at the bottom down here, it says type here to search, and it's called snipping tool. And it's a pair of scissors. I use it so much, it just shows up when I click that button. Okay? You can use snipping tools for anything. So if you see a document, you save it, it's fun. You use that snipping tool, and you can manipulate. You can have like a rectangle, you can have a big square. You can manipulate the size of it. So use statueofliberty.org and not pay for anything. All right. So the other one is stevemorse.com. Is it .com, .org? All right, this guy, wow, he did a lot of work, okay? And you scroll down, all kinds of stuff. And I know it says money signs, but you have a snipping tool. So use that snipping tool. So even if it says money, still click it, and you can go check out a lot of stuff. He has so much stuff in here, I can't even go through it. I'm going to actually just show you right here. Social security numbers. I love this. Okay, I don't know what year it was, 76, 77, when you were born, you were automatically issued a Social Security card. Before then, you didn't get a Social Security card until you got your first job. So that Social Security number can give you a clue on what is going on. So Social Security. So I'll do mine. My first number is 108. So I click here, New York. That is correct. New York is correct. And then if I do, let's see, 108, and then my next two numbers, 76, boom, New York, and then it gave the year. Okay, that's a fun item to use. It really gives you a lot of information, and down here, it'll give you all the codes for what areas, and then of course you have railroad workers, they have a different type of thing. Okay, that is handy. Super handy. Okay, my next one is a more fun one, but if you find something on this website, it would be amazing, deadfred.com. Okay, this is where people post pictures that they have found and they can't find owners or they're looking for information, And you can go through this and just look at tons of pictures that it's like a lost and found for pictures. And it's super cool. Okay, then you have Cindy's list. She spells it weird. List.com. Here we go. And it's kind of just another area where they have compiled information for things. Not my number one. Steve Morris is my man. That's where I go for information. Also, when you go into Family Search, there is, does anybody use Research Wiki? Oh yeah, Research Wiki. So if you go into Family Search and you go to Search, and you go down to Research Wiki, your answers are here. You know, you're looking for someone in Ohio who was born in 1822, and you're looking for that birth certificate. You can't find it anywhere. You know what? They may not have those records yet. Maybe they didn't start recording vitals till 1830. Well, guess what? You can get on Research Wiki and find out. So you can go to North America, and I'll show you. I'll just hone in on Michigan real quick because we all kind of know Michigan. Okay, and here you can go by county. So we'll go Otsego, which is where I live. And then you can go down, and here it is. Then this entire page is dedicated to Otsego County. If you have relatives in Texas, they can track families through cow branding. The brands they use on animals, they are specific to families, and you can track through that. When you get into your southern states, you have a lot more slavery stuff that you can track through. So every state, every county has something different to offer in Research Wiki. Also, if you are translating different documents in different language, for me, I work with a lot of Polish records. I am not even an ounce of Polish, but I had to learn Polish real quick. So you go through Research Wiki. I pulled up all of the genealogical words in Polish. I can read records all the time now. I know the months. I got the names of like parents, and then baptismal, death, all that type of stuff. And when I work, I actually have it clipped up on my board. And so when I get into those records, I pop it down and I just go through. There's so much in Research Wiki, and this is free. All of the websites I showed you, minus the Ancestry, is free. Any questions?
How does that manage, like, say, in Canada, you've got some places that are renamed, like, I've got family that were listed from Canada West. Well, it's not Canada West anymore.
You're going to want to hone in on that area on the map. So you're going to do Canada, and then you're going to pick this where it is now. Where would it be? Ontario. Shows you how much I know about Canada. And then you can click the area. So if you know where that location used to be called on the map, you can click that portion of the map. And then, oh, not that map. Over here, I guess they don't work the same way. Over here, you can click in it and pull it through, and it'll give you historical records. You can even go through historical books. They have entire books on Research Wiki. So if you know your family's in Canada in that place and you find a book and it's in a book, you can sit there and read the book and flip through the pages on Research Wiki. Yes?
I have a question from one of our online viewers. It says, in Family Search, how do significant research warnings get added to a profile?
Such as famous people, or can you repeat the question?
Significant research warnings get added to a profile.
Okay, hopefully they answer. Are they talking about like my uncle or my grandfather? Okay, let me go back to that person. So if I go back to my grandma, I'm going into my dad's biological dad. I have created notes, and I'll show you how to do that. So if I go down to the other guy right here, he has a warning at the top, and then you scroll down. So how you do that right here is you add a note, and then you can type in your note, and if you want an alert, you put the alert on. That alert is the one that puts the red triangle at the top, and then you put your note in. But if you just want to put a note, you don't need an alert. Not everything is alert worthy. I put an alert because I know it's true, and there's no documentation, but there is DNA, and I connect the dots. Did he reply if that answered his question? Any other questions? None? Okay, little tiny tip before I leave. Yes. Okay, perfect. When you are on Find a Grave and you look at memorials, let's see, let's pick this guy because it doesn't matter. Oh no, it does matter. Hold on. Okay, so we'll do my dad because he just passed. James Filkins, year died, 2025, search. So, oh, I didn't even spell my last name correctly. So when you search on here, there is a flower. You can add flowers to people's profiles. So this is what I use flowers for. If I looked at this person and I collected all that information and I have attached them to my family tree, I go in and I pick one flower. I'm going to stick to one single flower and I mark it with a flower. So if I'm in Find a Grave, I'm like, ooh, did I add them? I just look over because I sign in. It's free to sign up. If I left a flower, then I already did the work. So it's like a notation to me. I take advantage of those flowers. Yes?
This isn't related to any of that. But
That's
I'd like
okay.
to know what program you use at home.
For
Keeping track of your family tree, or do you do it all on
Ancestry, because nobody can touch it.
Okay.
Yep, nobody can touch it. It is secure. It is yours. However, hyperlinks, don't trust them. If you see something out there, you see a birth certificate, use your snipping tool. Grab a photo. Don't just link it, website, whatever. Use your snipping tool and get a picture and grab it because those links can die.
But aren't you then supposed to put a acknowledgement to?
Yeah.
Where do you put that at?
In your notation. So when you put it in your picture, you can put it in there. So if you add a photo, or if you want it, you can add it as a source. Add it as a source because then you could put all kinds of information.
This is on Ancestry, I'm thinking.
On Ancestry, you add a source,
Oh, add source. Yeah.
and then you can put all kinds of information in there where you got it from.
From
But if
Find a Grave or from, if there's not a person's name.
But if you see it and you don't own that document, use that snipping tool and make sure you don't ever lose it. Yes, okay. I'm done. Sorry. I can go all night.
I just want to say thank you. I've been doing this a little bit, and I learned stuff.
Yeah.
So, did everybody enjoy it?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. There's so many topics in doing genealogy that I think we could have her over here.
We should, please. We should.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you.
very much.
Thank you for having me. And if you have more questions, you've got all my contact information. Texting is the best way. And if I'm at work, I can just get right on the computer and take care of it for you. And if it's a question on family search and you're working on someone you need help, shoot me the ID number. Because then I could just jump on, pop in that ID number, and be exactly where you are.
Do you charge for if you need help?
I charge nothing.
Don't charge anything.
No.